The fourth day begins with an aerobatic demonstration by the Air Force. The President's plane stands ready at the U.S. Air Base in Wiesbaden to bring him to the most important stop on his West German visit, West Berlin.
After the jubilation of the past 3 days, what reception lies ahead for the President in the partitioned city that was Germany's capital?
It is 9:45 a.m. in Berlin. A southwest wind with storm in it furls the flags and banners. The forecast calls for changing weather. Everything is ready for the arrival here at the military airport in Berlin-Tegel. Here, too, innumerable cameras cover the approach of the Boeing 707. The welcome ceremony by Allied troops begins as the President alights from his plane, stepping out onto the soil of a real political problem child, divided Berlin.
We come to a city which is 3,500 miles from the United States, but we come to a city which we feel to be part of us.
How will Berlin greet the President? Not long ago, it gave a warm welcome to Robert Kennedy, and just after the wall was built in 1961, to Vice President Johnson.
The President on the outskirts of the city. Escorts of honor here, there, and everywhere. The streets go more and more crowded. Kennedy's campaign song greets us from one of the open windows.
The motorcade turns on to the famous Kurfürstendamm. It's clear now that the enthusiasm being shown here in Berlin is of a different quality from that encountered in Cologne, Bonn, or Frankfurt. Berlin's political situation, a free island, a communist sea, is reflected in the Berliners' greeting. They are free, but nobody forgets that a freedomless existence begins only a few city blocks away.
Yesterday morning, the East Berlin police draped red flags over the Brandenburg Gate. And now, a few minutes before the President's arrival, the communists roll out a large propaganda sign.
As the motorcade turns on to the 17th of June Street, cameras on the communist side of the wall are set up. It is the first time that President Kennedy stands before the wall.
The motorcade leaves the Brandenburg Gate and crosses 17th of June Street, named for the 1953 rebellion in the Soviet zone. Kennedy's car is preceded by a truck with German and American cameramen.
At Friedrichstrasse, Kennedy visits Checkpoint Charlie, the official Allied crossover point, which has become a historic site. It was here that Soviet and American tanks faced one another a scant few yards apart on October 28, 1961, a critical day in the history of East-West relations. At this moment, the president is being watched by journalists from all over the world. They must wonder what the president is thinking as he looks over the wall into East Berlin, Europe's westernmost communist stronghold.
Now, once again, along West Berlin streets, the cheers begin the moment the convoy comes into sight. They crescendo to unbelievable heights as he approaches, then recede very slowly, long after the president has been absorbed by the next wave.
This is the monument to the airlift in front of Tempelhof Airport. On this same day, 15 years ago, the Soviets began their blockade of West Berlin. Every Berliner old enough to have experienced that crisis still remembers vividly the successful Allied operation which kept Berlin alive and free. The Berliners are used to many things and cool-headed by nature. Yet now they cheer just as loudly as everyone else has these past few days. But here and there, if you look closely, you'll also find eyes with tears in them. Tears which indicate perhaps that the presence of the American president somehow means the difference between fear and hope.
Kennedy approaches the Schöneberg district. By this time, the FBI men are about the only people hard at work. The Berliners are out to compete with America's ticker-tape parades and not doing badly. Rudolf Wildeplatz in front of Schöneberg City Hall is jammed with 300,000 Berliners. Speaking of warm welcomes, the thermometer is above 80 in the shade.
The Berliners, who have lived history, are quick to grasp the importance of this latest historical event. It was in this city that an unscrupulously aroused and afterward misused enthusiasm helped to bring about the greatest error in German history. Like people of many lands, these people have had to pay dearly in the aftermath of that tragic error. Their cheers on this 26th of June have the ring of an affirmation. Today, we have had a referendum which will reverberate throughout every country in the world.
Die unüberhörbar ist in der ganzen Welt.
This speech by President Kennedy makes modern history. In its most gripping moments, one can hear what he thinks about the wall and what it stands for.
Years ago, there are some who say that communism is the wave of the future. Let them come to Berlin. And there are some who say in Europe and elsewhere we can work with the communists. Let them come to Berlin. And there are even a few who say that it's true that communism is an evil system, but it permits us to make economic progress. Lass sie nach Berlin kommen. Let them come to Berlin. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free. When all are free, then we can look forward to that day when this city will be joined as one, and this country and this great continent of Europe in a peaceful and hopeful globe. When that day finally comes, as it will, the people of West Berlin can take sober satisfaction in the fact that they were in the front lines for almost 2 decades. All free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Berlin. And therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Und nun, liebe Berlinerinnen und Berliner, meine Freunde, nun sind wir an einem wahrhaft bedeutsamen Augenblick.
And now, fellow citizens of Berlin, we have reached a truly important moment in the history of our city. President Kennedy will write his name in the Golden Book of Berlin.
Des Volkes von Berlin eintragen in unser goldenes Buch.
This storm of enthusiasm accompanies the president to Tegel Airport, where he takes leave of Berlin. His departure rings down the curtain on a great day in the hearts of Berliners everywhere. For Mr. Kennedy has suggested that what a human being stands for can make him a Berliner.
As the press hurriedly snaps pictures of the closing moments of this history-making visit, Chancellor Adenauer thanks the president. Take back to your country and the American people your understanding of the German people and their feelings. What they showed you here came truly from the bottom of their hearts.
Sie haben das ja alles mitgemacht, wie das deutsche Volk von Ihnen denkt. Und das kam auch wirklich aus dem Herzen heraus.
I'm happy I came, and I express my thanks to you, Chancellor, to all the German people for the hand they held out to us.
The president says goodbye to those who accompanied him on his 4 days in Germany. Beneath him, the town whose citizens now consider the spokesman from America as one of themselves. What were the president's personal impressions during the history-making trip? He suggests the answer himself in these words delivered in his farewell speech.
I said that I was going to leave a note to my successor, which would say to be opened at a time of some discouragement. And in it would be written 3 words, go to Germany. I may open that note myself someday.